My mom made me feel like a monster for not paying for my sister's abortion. I'm a 27-year-old male. I have a half-sister who's 21. We share the same mom. She got pregnant a few months ago and immediately called me crying, saying she couldn't go through with it and that her boyfriend bailed. I comforted her, asked her what she needed, and she said she'd decided to terminate. I told her I'd help however I could, but I couldn't cover the full cost. I just bought a used car and I'm trying to dig out of credit card debt. She asked if I could at least loan her $500. I didn't have it, and I told her that honestly. Next day, my mom calls and lays into me. Says I abandoned my sister when she needed me most, that I claim to be a feminist, but let a young woman suffer, and that I clearly don't care about family. I tried to explain my finances, and she literally said, "You just didn't want to help." What pisses me off the most is, I did want to help, but I couldn't. And somehow that turned me into the villain of everyone's story. They ended up getting the money from someone else, and now they're acting like I'm radioactive. My sister hasn't spoken to me in over a month. I'm just so tired of being the older brother when it's convenient and the punching bag when it's not. What do you think? I believe fake screenshots and destroyed a real friendship. I-19F run an online fan page for a small rock band in a different continent. It's satirical, it's a shitpost page, but over the months I've genuinely befriended the band on a personal level. Of course, it was always through a certain veil of courtesy and politeness, but it was, in a vague way, intimate. We have inside jokes, we've interacted nearly every single day for the past 8-ish months, I think. I'd consider us friend adjacent. I want to emphasize that this is not a parasocial relationship. We talk mutually. There is no romantic element to this. 2 days ago, I received screenshots. I've been diagnosed with bulimia since I was 13, which the lead singer is aware of, I told him in passing. The screenshots depicted the lead singer, early 20s M, of the band saying horrible things regarding my body and face, with an emphasis on weight and references to my bulimia. I received the screenshots from a friend who knows the band personally, they live in the same city as them, who said they received the screenshots from someone who didn't want to be named out of fear of retaliation, and no matter how much I begged, they wouldn't tell me who sent them, except for the fact that the person who did had no reason to lie, and that my friend, who I trust wholeheartedly, thought them to be real. There were none of the hallmarks of fake screenshots. I looked over them 1,000 times, and I was 100% convinced they were real. At the time, there wasn't a single reason for anyone to lie to me. I didn't think anyone would. I took them at face value. I couldn't imagine the lead singer saying anything like that, but I chalked it down to him not being who I thought he was. If a person wanted to drag down the band, why not say something publicly? Why come to me, a person who would never bring it outside of the people directly involved? I messaged him, lashing out at him, saying the most horrible, reactionary things a person ever could. This is bit of it. The entire message followed this tone. I hope all of the now ill-placed attention I sent your way stroked your oversized ego enough, and I hope something equally as acidulous as I was supportive deflates it with the worst pain imaginable. He replied, confused, and I wasn't having it. I didn't believe him at all. I think in a moment of genuine confusion, he thought I was upset about a certain trivial thing we've joked around about before, and that pushed me over the edge more. It felt decisive, and I thought he viewed me as hysterical. I've never been a reactionary person. I've never in my life hated a person. I have no idea why I was so irrational. After that, we went back and forth for a while. He kept asking who told me, and I viewed that as insulting because in my mind, he undeniably said what I show and he was playing dumb. It felt as though he had a complete lack of regard as to how I felt and was focused on damage control. I only grew more hostile. He started talking about the band, and that made it worse, saying they, needed to get the bottom of this. It felt like it was turning into a PR issue, not a personal conflict between two adults. It was all about the band. While my execution was wrong, I think now while my feelings were not justified, they were understandable. We went back and forth over the span of 4 hours. Eventually, he left me on scene. I go to sleep the next morning. His dad texts me, doing what he should be doing, defending his son. He said he'd been up all night talking to his son. He said he didn't believe he'd ever say anything like that. He said he knew him better than that. That message hit harder than anything else. I do trust his dad. Never has he given me a reason not to, and he was unwavering in his conviction and in trying to convince me worked. I do believe him. His dad informed me of things that were irrefutable. I apologized to the lead singer, apologized for everything, for the words I said, for the way I handled things, and I've been left with radio silence and it's killing me. It's been 20 hours. I feel horrible. I brought distress upon someone who's been unfairly targeted in the past with campaigns of lies and misinformation, and I didn't think to give him the benefit of doubt. Or at the very least have an open and honest conversation. I'm 19. I have wonderful parents and loving friends who would kill for me. I have a job that most people my age would beg for. I have a financial security. I don't know why this is hitting me so hard. It feels like I can't bounce back from this, and it's terrible. I reported someone I loved out of spite, and I cannot move on from what it did to both of us. I need to get this off my chest because it has been 5 months, and I still cannot move on from the pain, guilt, and confusion. Last November, I met a girl at a very Christian college in the South. Extremely religious. Her whole purpose in life is to be a missionary and convert people from other religions to Christianity. We met at a night hosted by the student ministry she was very involved in, and from the first moment we clicked. We spent almost every day together outside of class. We talked for hours every night and barely slept just to be around each other. I told her I loved her. I talked about a future together. And while she would cook for me, stay over, and be physically and emotionally close, she refused to even call me her boyfriend. She said I was not Christian enough. She would not post about me or tell others. Later, I found out from other people and from photos on her phone that she had a thing for people from my ethnicity. A fetish. That made me feel disgusting. Like I was being used for her pleasure, but not someone she would ever publicly acknowledge. She completely cut me off not long after baptizing me. I was baptized by her and another guy. A month later, I saw her kiss someone else while I was walking to class. I had no warning, no explanation, nothing. That broke me. It made me feel worthless, like I wasn't good enough for anyone. So I did something I deeply regret. She was supposed to go on a summer mission trip. She had a leadership role in the student ministry. I went to her bosses and told them everything that had happened between us. I did it out of spite, not out of concern, not out of maturity, just raw pain. I wanted her to feel what I was feeling, lost, hurt, crushed. And it worked. Her mission trip was canceled. I think it deeply hurt her. And the truth is, even though she hurt me, I did not want her to suffer like that. Now I live with this guilt. She hurt me. I hurt her back. And sometimes I still miss her. I think I loved someone who only loved what I gave her, not who I was. My teacher who called me stupid in HS is now a patient of mine. When I was a freshman in high school, I had this teacher that absolutely hated me. She was my biology teacher, who was also my homeroom teacher. I never did anything to her, yet she hated me. She accused me of being on drugs one time when I never even seen drugs in my life at that age. I just finished 8th grade going on 9th grade. I was just a tired, sleepless teenager that moved from the north to the south, also going through my parents' divorce. I was just depressed. Everyone down here treated me badly just because I looked different. I had no friends here and I missed my friends at home. So I did really bad in high school academically. I had to take summer school. She has told me I was academically challenged, but I'm not. I was tested back in middle school. I don't have any disabilities. She even called me stupid in front of the entire class. One time I raised my hand to answer a question since no one else was raising their hand, and she was so persistent on getting someone to answer, and I got the answer right. And she said, "Wow, guys, even Jane Doe got this right. You guys should have known the answer." Anyways, fast forward more than a decade now. I'm a nurse. For a long time, my high school teachers made me start to believe I was stupid. I wasn't stupid. I ended up doing well in college. I just had a tough childhood. I was depressed. I went through a lot during my teenage years. Last week, my former teacher from HS came into the clinic I work at and I took her vitals and got her ready to see the doctor. She didn't recognize me. I look very different, obviously, LOL, and I got married, so I changed my last name. When I told her my first and last name, that she knows me by, and I told her I was in her class, her eyes widened and she was shocked. She remembered me. She actually looked like she was excited to see me. She told me she was proud of me, and she never thought in a million years that I would be her nurse. She joked to me and said, "I would have thought you made it as a receptionist if I ever imagined running into you at a clinic wearing scrubs." And she started laughing. I didn't think that was funny. Quite offensive, actually. I was a receptionist for some time and I hated it. They deal with more shit than doctors and nurses do. Anyways, my former teacher is still a bitch, LOL. Family friend closed me in a room and asked me for sex. I'm having a hard time processing what happened to me. I was at a gathering over the weekend at our 26F family friend's house. Just to give some background, my boyfriend and I have been together for many years, and I'd consider the family that hosted the gathering almost as extended family because we often spend time there. My boyfriend and this friend grew up together, so they've been friends for life. There was a decent amount of drinking going on by everyone this night, and my boyfriend's best friend's father was probably the most intoxicated one there. Towards the end of the night, I was using the restroom in their home and had the door locked. I heard the knob jiggling, and I opened the door after I was finished and saw the father standing there. We exchanged a greeting of sorts, and when I went to walk away, he asked me to come back. Now this is where I should have walked away. I never in a million years would have thought this would happen next. He guided me by my shoulders into the bathroom and shut the door behind us. He was standing in between me and the door. He grabbed me and pulled me close and insinuated we could have sex right at that moment. I was shocked. I asked what he was talking about and he stepped aside and let me leave out the door. I told my boyfriend privately and he brought me home immediately. I'm just struggling because I know I wasn't assaulted in any way, but I feel almost as if I was. He never touched me in an inappropriate place, and he let me leave on my own accord. I can't stop thinking about it. It's making me sick, and it's affecting how focused I am at work, and I feel like I can't enjoy anything because I can't stop thinking about what happened. My boyfriend has handled the situation very well and has been extremely supportive, but I feel like I'm nowhere near being over this, even though we have handled it. My boyfriend had a discussion with his friend and father, and there were apologies given. We are never interacting with the father again. I feel terrible that his friend had to find out about it because seeing a parent in a different light is a very hard thing to go through. He is a married man with his entire family outside the door. I don't know where to go from here. My anxiety this week has been through the roof, and I haven't been able to eat much because I feel so sick over it. I know being drunk isn't an excuse for his actions, but I feel like no matter what, I just am not feeling better about the situation, and somehow it feels like it's my fault for trusting him. Update: I thought this would be easier than replying to everyone individually. Thank you all for your kind words. I really appreciate the support I'm getting. I think I'm going to try to seek out therapy within the next few weeks. I know my employer has mental health benefits, so I should be able to get fairly affordable access to speak to someone. As for what's happened after we left that night, my boyfriend has talked to his friend and confronted the father. I believe the family is aware of what happened, and we will not be having any more contact with the father. His friends have been very supportive. And believe me, which I'm grateful that I at least don't have to dodge accusations that I'm lying. For those of you that have been in similar situations as I have been, thank you for sharing your story, thoughts, and feelings, and being brave enough to talk about it. I hate what being married means in society. I love my husband. We've been married for over a year. We have a great relationship, and he's my person. I hate how I'm treated now that I'm a spouse. People respect me more. At work, people listen to me and take me as an authority now. Default text. Everyone around me acts as if I made it and got lucky. I have an amazing husband, don't get me wrong. But I chose to start a relationship with him because of who he was. It was not by luck. I hate how I'm treated like I won the lottery. What more can I want, other than kids, now that I'm married? How can my life have any hardships now that I'm married? How dare I have career goals anymore? It's like I've been reduced to this two-dimensional woman that achieved her purpose. My fiancé accused me of cheating because I got tested for STDs. I, 28M, have a history of being cheated on. Because of that, I get tested regularly, even in monogamous relationships. It's a boundary for myself, not a sign of distrust in others. I told my fiancé, 26F, I was heading to the clinic last week and she got quiet. Later that night, she confronted me and said she thought I was seeing someone else, and that was why I got tested. I was shocked. I explained that I do this for my own mental health, that I've been doing it every 6 months for the past 5 years. She said, well, if you're not sleeping with anyone else, what are you worried about? That's what gets me. Apparently self-care is now suspicion. Apparently having boundaries means I'm hiding something. We're fine now. She apologized, but something cracked in me. I don't think she sees me clearly. I don't think she understands trauma that didn't happen to her. One comment. I mean, I get where your fiancé is coming from. Have you spoken to her about this before? Told her that you regularly get tested? Because honestly, if my fiancé just out of the blue told me they were getting tested for STIs, I would think they cheated. Edit for context. I am not saying getting tested is bad. I believe everyone who is sexually actively should get tested regularly, regardless of relationship status. But OP is wrong to not talk to his fiancé about this all before. I have no issues with him getting tested. I have issues with hiding it for 5 years.